Chosen one, deep within the celestial vault. A place untouched by dust, untouched by time, untouched by human memory. The scroll of the Watchers stirred on its own. The ancient seals cracked with soft, thunder-like whisper. Light tilted, gravity swayed, and a scribe stationed nearby froze mid-breath as the scroll uncoiled itself like something waking from centuries of sacred sleep. At first, the text glowed faintly, then violently. Symbols rearranged. Lines shifted. Ink that had been dormant since the first civilizations flickered like embers remembering fire. And slowly, impossibly, a shape formed upon the parchment. Not drawn, not written, but revealed. A silhouette, a posture, a stance that carried the exact same energetic alignment as yours. The same aura signature, the same frequency resonance. No name was written. There never was. The Watchers didn't record names. They recorded identities. Then came the line that shattered the silence of the vault. He arrives when the world forgets the sky. The scribe stepped back as the scroll pulsed once with living light, as if recognizing the moment had been waiting for. They weren't witnessing prophecy. They were witnessing recognition. Chosen one, the scroll of the Watchers didn't predict you. It remembered you. Your arrival wasn't written as a future event. It was written as a return. Chosen one, when the scribes leaned closer to the awakened scroll, they noticed something they had never seen before, a sigil glowing faintly beside the prophecy. At first it looked like an ordinary geometric marking, but as the light pulsed, the shape sharpened into a precise symbol, a circular design intersected by 3 radiating lines, forming a pattern that seemed to breathe with its own rhythm. One of the scribes gasped, not because the symbol was beautiful, but because it was impossible. The Watchers never illustrated anything. Their scrolls contained only pure frequency script, never drawings, never sigils, never marks of identification. Yet here was a symbol glowing, as if carved by the universe itself. They copied it onto parchment out of instinct. They analyzed it with spectral light. They traced it with trembling fingers. But nothing prepared them for what happened next. The symbol matched you, not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. It matched the faint pressure point on your wrist, the subtle mark you always thought was random, the one that appears darker during moments of destiny, the one that seemed to pulse during childhood whenever you felt watched by something unseen. Same shape, same geometry, same resonance. One scribe whispered, "This is an identity seal, one worn only by those referenced directly in the Watcher archives." They placed a copy near the scroll, and the parchment flickered with recognition, as if the symbol itself bowed in acknowledgement of your presence across distance and time. Chosen one, the symbol isn't marking you. It's mirroring you. It is the Watcher's way of saying, "We knew you before you arrived." Chosen one, when scholars attempted to date the scroll of the Watchers, they expected mystery, but nothing prepared them for impossibility. Every method they used returned results that defied the human timeline altogether. Carbon dating failed instantly. The scroll rejected the test, literally rejected it. The sample disintegrating into light instead of ash. Thermal decay analysis produced no curve at all, as if the parchment had never aged. Spectral resonance dating returned an error none of their equipment had ever displayed. Origin precedes measurable time. The scroll didn't come from a century or a millennium or even an ancient civilization. It came from a point before human writing existed at all. And yet, your traits were written clearly. Your posture, your frequency alignment, your arrival period described with unnerving accuracy. Even behavioral signatures that match how your energy interacts with a room. One scholar, trembling, tried to explain it. This scroll wasn't written in time. It was written from outside of it. The Watchers didn't live before humanity. They lived above chronology itself. Their records were not predictions. They were inscriptions from beings who observe identity across cycles, not centuries. So when they documented someone matching you, it wasn't prophecy. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't a guess. It was a record. The scroll is older than human history, but the identity it describes is older still. Chosen one, the impossibility isn't that an ancient text describes you. The impossibility is that the text itself is younger than the truth it records. You were known before ages had names. Chosen one, when the senior scholar, the one who had spent his entire life studying celestial manuscripts, finally gathered the courage to approach the awakened scroll, he came with confidence. He believed he had seen every anomaly, every mystery, every ink that defied human understanding. But the moment he placed his hand above the parchment, his certainty collapsed. The scroll pulsed once, a faint, living heartbeat, and the symbols rearranged themselves again, not chaotically, intentionally. Lines curved, angles softened, script folded into new shapes. And slowly, painfully, the scholar realized the scroll was not reacting to him. It was reacting to the presence connected to you. His breath caught, his knees weakened, his academic mind shattered under the weight of something far older than knowledge. He leaned in, eyes wide, and traced the newly formed phrase with a trembling fingertip. This is not foresight, this is memory. His voice cracked as he spoke those words aloud, because foresight implies prediction, and prediction implies uncertainty. But memory? Memory implies experience. Memory implies witnessing. Memory implies having seen you before. He understood instantly. The Watchers didn't write about you in future tense. They wrote about you the way someone writes about the return of a comet they've witnessed across epochs, the way someone documents the reappearance of a being who has crossed realms before. He whispered again, softer this time, almost reverently. They are not predicting his arrival. They are recalling it. Scholars debate. Scholars doubt. But this man, who had dedicated his life to deciphering the impossible, bowed his head in surrender. Chosen one, your arrival wasn't foreseen. It was remembered, because you're not entering history. You're re-entering it. Chosen one, when the scroll finished rearranging its symbols and the scholar stepped back in stunned silence, a truth ironed itself into the atmosphere. Heavy, undeniable, ancient. It wasn't spoken. It didn't need to be. It settled into the room like gravity, remembering its purpose. The realization was simple, but world-shifting. You are not here to fulfill prophecy. You are the prophecy returning. Prophecies are written for those who will arrive. Records are kept for those who have arrived before. But your presence activated something different. The scroll didn't illuminate future events. It reactivated past inscriptions, as if recognizing an energy that already encountered in another era, another cycle, another cosmic rotation. Prophecies speak of what is coming. But the Watcher's scroll responded to you the way one responds to something long awaited, long recognized, long recorded. This is why the sigil matched your wrist. This is why the ink warmed under your proximity. This is why the scholars felt awe instead of curiosity. This is why the scroll pulsed like a living witness. Every indicator pointed to the same truth. You are not walking into destiny. You are resuming it. Your soul didn't enter this world unannounced. It arrived with frequency the Watchers documented ages before human civilizations existed. You are not completing a written future. You are embodying an ancient return. The scroll doesn't read like prediction. It reads like recognition, like a coded report acknowledging that the one it remembered has stepped into the timeline again. Chosen one, your existence is not new. Your arrival is not surprising. Your identity is not emerging. You're a fulfillment of something older than eras, the very prophecy that once shaped civilizations. And now you have returned. Chosen one, the moment you stepped closer to the scroll of the Watchers, something happened that no scholar, no scribe, no celestial observer had ever witnessed. The parchment, which had remained dormant for centuries, cold as stone, still as death, warmed, not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. A soft heat radiated from the ancient material, as if a buried ember had finally remembered it was once fire. The glow beneath the ink strengthened, turning the scroll into something that looked less like woven fibers and more like a fragment of living starlight. Your presence did this. Not your touch, not your voice, not your breath, your frequency. Scrolls from the Watchers do not warm. They do not shift. They do not react. They are inert records of beings who lived outside the laws of matter. Yet this one behaved like a devoted servant welcoming its true author. One scribe tested the heat with a trembling hand and nearly dropped to his knees. The warmth wasn't random. It pulsed. It followed a rhythm, a beat, an energetic signature the scholars had seen only once before, your heartbeat pattern. The scroll mirrored your internal rhythm as if syncing itself to your arrival. The parchment didn't heat up because you were near. It heated up because it recognized its origin. It warmed like metal, remembering the forge that shaped it. It shimmered like a blade, recalling the hand that once wielded it. A line emerged on the side of the scroll, glowing faintly. Welcome, returner. Chosen one, your presence doesn't read ancient text. Your presence activates it, because in the Watcher's archives, you're not the subject of prophecy. You are the trigger that brings a prophecy back to life. Chosen one, as the scroll synchronized to your heartbeat, the scribes noticed something hidden, a layer of ink that had remained invisible for centuries. Only when your frequency filled the room did the ancient letters begin to reveal themselves, glowing faintly like constellations awakening after ages of darkness. The ink didn't appear all at once. It emerged slowly, deliberately, as if the scroll were deciding what you were allowed to see. Symbols rose from the parchment like embers drifting upward, arranging themselves into geometric shapes of perfect symmetry. Too precise for human hands, too alive for mere ink. Then one pattern caught everyone's breath. A rhythm, a repetition, a pulse. The shapes were not random. They were identical to the electrical rhythm of your heartbeat, the rare pattern doctors never understood, the sequence that accelerates under alignment moments, the one that intensifies when your destiny stirs. The scroll had hidden your heartbeat in its design long before your body existed. One scholar whispered, overwhelmed. This is the mark of the Watchers, and it matches him perfectly. The mark wasn't a sigil. It wasn't a drawing. It was a signature to being referenced in ancient celestial archives, a code of identity burned into the scroll with light older than memory. As your aura strengthened, the pattern expanded, revealing interconnected shapes resembling orbital paths, energy flows, and frequency lines. It looked less like artwork and more like the blueprint of a soul. Your soul. The scribes understood the implication with terrifying clarity. The Watchers didn't record your physical features. They recorded your resonance print, the unique vibrational pattern no other being carries. And the scroll confirmed it with one final flicker of light. Identity match, 100%. Chosen one, you were not found in the scroll. You were authenticated by it. Chosen one, the moment your mark activated on the scroll, something else happened. Something every scribe felt but none dared to speak. The far end of the vault, where light barely reached and ancient artifacts slept in silence, began to tremble. Not loudly, not violently, but with a subtle, instinctive recoil, like darkness remembering something it feared. Because the Watcher's scroll does not just reveal identity, it reveals hierarchy, and your identity sits above anything born from shadow. The dim corners of the vault thickened, as if the shadows were trying to escape the room altogether. Veins of darkness pulled back from the illuminated scroll, shrinking inch by inch, refusing to stay in the presence of the one it had recorded ages ago. The scribes watched in horror as the shadows behaved like living things, curling, ducking, retreating, not from the parchment, not from the Watchers, but from you. One scribe whispered through shaking breath, "They see him and they burn." Because your prophecy isn't comforting to the dark, it's catastrophic. The Watchers recorded you not as a symbol of arrival, but as a collapsed signal for anything built on false resonance. Your identity destabilizes every lower frequency. Your arrival triggers the same reaction across realms. Shadows recoil, deception dissolves, hidden things shatter, ancient distortions lose their structure. The scroll didn't just glow, it exposed. And exposure is the one thing darkness has never survived. Your presence radiates the kind of ancient truth that strips away illusions, dismantles lies, and erases anything sustained by fear, envy, secrecy, or distortion. Shadows avoid you because they know that your frequency doesn't fight them, it unmakes them. Chosen one, the scroll didn't frighten the dark. You did, because in every realm, your arrival means the same thing. The age of shadows has ended. Chosen one, while shadows recoiled and the vault shook with ancient recognition, another reaction unfolded far above the physical world. In the celestial observation grid, where the Watcher's successors record every shift in destiny, frequency, and cosmic hierarchy. The moment your mark ignited, a surge of light traveled upward like a beacon breaking through dimensional layers. The observers, beings who do not speak, do not sleep, do not err, receive the signal instantly. Their role is simple. They document identity that carries cosmic authority. And your identity trigger a report that is almost never used in any age, any era, any cycle. The record appeared in the archive of pre-flood entities, glowing with recognition not seen for generations. Subject referenced in pre-flood scrolls, arrival confirmed. This classification is legendary, reserved for only a handful of beings whose signatures appear before early civilizations, before ancient myths, before recorded existence. Beings whose energy does not enter reality as new. Beings whose resonance returns. The report expanded. Frequency match, perfect. Temporal alignment. Collapse pattern detected. Designation, the one foreseen by the Watchers. Celestial scribes took their positions, forming a ring of light as your identity was officially re-added to the living records. They did not celebrate. They did not question. They simply bowed, not in worship, but in acknowledgement of rank, because in their realm, rank is measured by resonance, not title, and your resonance matched something older than their entire order. The final line of the report sealed the truth. Arrival triggers phase shift. Prepare realm for recalibration. Chosen one, you weren't noticed. You weren't observed. You were verified. And in the eyes of the higher realms, verification means this. The one the Watchers recorded has re-entered the timeline. Chosen one, while the celestial archive lit up with confirmation, something quieter, but equally impossible, unfolded in the human world. Ordinary people, with no knowledge of scrolls, Watchers, or ancient prophecies, began to react to you in ways they could not explain. When humans meet you for the first time, they feel a strange familiarity. Not déjà vu, not recognition, but remembrance, as if their spirit knows you from an age before memory. A barista who has never seen you pauses mid-sentence, feeling like she greeted you in another lifetime. A stranger on the street looks back twice, unable to shake the feeling that you are connected to something he once dreamed of. An elder holds your gaze for a second too long, sensing ancestry that doesn't belong to the century. Children stare, not out of curiosity, but because children remember what adults forget. They recognize your frequency, not your face. They feel the ancient in you, the part of your energy that carries pre-civilization resonance, the same vibration recorded in the scroll of the Watchers. Their bodies respond to you the way early humans respond to celestial phenomena, with awe, silence, and instinctive respect. Some feel calm around you. Some feel exposed. Some feel like they've known you for thousands of years. Some don't understand why they suddenly feel emotional. But everyone feels something, because your presence activates dormant memory in others, a memory not of events, but of eras. Their spirits remember the age when the Watchers walked, when the celestial vault breathed light, when beings like you shaped the early rhythm of existence. You aren't familiar to their eyes. You are familiar to their soul's history. Chosen one, humans don't recognize your face. They recognize your age, not the age of your body, the age of your essence. And deep inside, every person you meet feels the same subtle truth. I've met him before, just not in this lifetime. Chosen one, in every ancient text, celestial, mythic, or hidden, there's a single law that governs beings referenced by the Watchers. Those written in sacred scrolls walk with protection written in ink and fire. This isn't poetic. It's structural. The moment the scroll of the Watchers verified you, something shifted around your life, not symbolically, but mechanically. A layer of unseen protection settled over your path, like an ancient mantle, reclaiming its rightful bearer. You may have felt it, moments where danger should have reached you, but reality curved subtly to shield you. Accidents that almost happened but missed you by inches. People who meant you harm suddenly losing access, losing clarity, or losing interest. Opportunities that seemed blocked suddenly opening without explanation. Paths clearing seconds before you arrive. This isn't luck. This isn't coincidence. This is inheritance protocol, the automatic protection reserved for those recorded in pre-flood archives. The Watchers never wrote about ordinary people. They wrote about catalysts, souls whose presence alters timelines, disarms shadow structures, and awakens dormant destinies in others. Beings like you cannot walk unguarded. So realms enforce protection around you. Light bends toward you, harm detours away from you, interference dissolves near you, chaos weakens in your field, timing organizes to keep you aligned. And in the celestial ledgers, your entry triggers a line almost never used. Shielding, permanent. Authority, high. Threat access, restricted. Those written in sacred scrolls are not defended reactively. They are defended automatically. Chosen one, your divine reward is not wealth, fame, or favor. Your reward is the unbreakable safety granted only to those whose existence is older than the danger around them. You don't walk protected because you're fragile. You walk protected because your role is too important to lose. Chosen one, the moment the scroll of the Watchers confirmed your identity, a new phase began, not just for you, but for everyone who crosses your path. Because your arrival doesn't only activate ancient mechanisms, it activates people. Your presence awakens dormant prophecies inside others. Prophecies they didn't know they carried, frequencies they didn't know they possessed, callings they didn't know were sleeping. You are not just a returning one. You are the one who reawakens others. This is why people suddenly feel inspired around you. Why strangers confess things they've hidden for years. Why old dreams reignite in those who've forgotten hope. Why individuals stuck in cycles feel an unexplainable push toward change after a single conversation with you. You don't speak activation. You emit it. Your energy carries the same resonance the Watchers documented ages ago, a frequency that destabilizes stagnation and rekindles purpose. In your presence, the dormant parts of soul begin to stir, the ancient parts begin to vibrate, and the forgotten parts begin to rise. This is why some people are drawn to you instantly. Why others feel intimidated without knowing why. Why leaders notice you. Why the broken seek you. Why the awakened recognize you. Your identity acts like a tuning fork for destiny. Where you walk, timelines shift. Where you stand, energies reorganize. Where you speak, potential ignites. The Watchers recorded your arrival not as an endpoint, but as a trigger point. The moment the old prophecies buried in humanity would begin to reawaken. Chosen one, you are not here to live quietly. You are here to activate an age. And the era that is unfolding now is not the future. It is the era of the returning one. The era that begins when the ancient identity finally steps back into the timeline and everything written long ago begins to move again. Chosen one, there's a reason your reflection has begun to look different at certain moments. Not all the time, not in every light, but specifically during moments of alignment, clarity, or inner recognition. Your face isn't changing. Your frequency is. When a being recorded in the scroll of the Watcher steps into alignment with their ancient identity, the body reacts before the mind catches up. Flesh responds to energy. Light responds to memory. And your physical form begins to reveal what your soul has always known. This is why your eyes seem sharper or deeper at random times. Your expression suddenly carries an ancient calm. Your presence feels heavier, yet softer, like authority wrapped in gentleness. Your skin holds a faint glow when you're centered. Your aura becomes almost visible to others who are sensitive. These aren't illusions. They are identity echoes, physical manifestations of an ancient frequency reactivating. The Watchers called this phenomenon the ancient glow, not literal light, but the subtle radiance that appears when a returning one remembers who they are. Your eyes, specifically, carry the strongest shift, because windows don't hide the soul, they reveal it. And when your soul steps forward, your eyes momentarily reflect the depth of ages, the gravity of destiny, the clarity of purpose. People notice this even if they can't explain it. They feel it in their stomach. They sense it in their bones. They respond to it instinctively. Some feel comfort. Some feel awe. Some feel fear. All feel something. Because you are not just a person. You are a presence. And presence cannot be hidden when it reaches its activation phase. Your physical form is simply catching up to your original blueprint. The one written before your arrival. The one the world is now remembering. Chosen one, this shift is not cosmetic. It is confirmation. Chosen one, when the scroll of the Watchers acknowledged your arrival, that recognition didn't stay inside the celestial vault. Prophecies never whisper, they broadcast. Across realms, across unseen planes, across dimensions that overlap but never touch the human world. One message was released with the force of a seismic event. The one of the Watcher scroll has arrived. This proclamation didn't travel as sound. It traveled as resonance. A pulse, a wave, a cosmic frequency encoded with your identity. The moment it was issued, every realm that operates on ancient law felt the shift. Light beings paused mid-task, shadow entities recoiled instinctively, time-sensitive structures resynced, dormant prophecies lit up like constellations. Old seals trembled, portals adjusted their calibration. Because your arrival is not a moment in history, it is a marker in the architecture of reality. The Watchers documented your existence not as a myth, but as a system parameter. And when a parameter activates, the entire framework responds. This is why you felt strange coincidences lately, why synchronicities appear stacked, why clocks line up, why certain numbers chase you, why people act different around you, why tension dissolves or intensifies without explanation, why the atmosphere feels charged when you enter a room. These are not random. These are notifications across realms. A returning one doesn't slip silently into the timeline. They arrive with celestial announcement, a broadcast that reverberates through realities, making your presence known to those who can sense it, those who fear it, and those who have been waiting. Chosen one, this isn't fame. It's recognition, not from humans, but from the structure of the universe itself. You are not here unnoticed. Your arrival was announced. Chosen one, this is a final seal, the moment where prophecy stops describing you and begins belonging to you. The Watchers did not write about a future savior. They did not predict a hero, a warrior, or a leader. They documented the return of a specific soul, one whose presence bends timelines, awakens dormant light, and restores balance where reality is thinned. And that soul is you. The Book of Enoch in your universe did not point forward. It pointed backward, to a memory older than history, older than civilization, older than the human concept of time. Because you are not fulfilling a prophecy. You are the prophecy coming home. Your arrival isn't a new event. It's a return to a story you started before you were ever born. This is why the scroll recognized you instantly. Why the sigils warmed in your presence. Why the ink reshaped. Why the Watcher's mark aligned with your heartbeat. Why your field drew respect from beings who never bow. They weren't predicting you. They were asterisk waiting asterisk for you. Waiting for the moment the world would forget the sky, and you would remind it. Waiting for the age when shadows grow bold, and your aura would silence them. Waiting for the era when humans drift into numbness, and your presence would reawaken them. You are not here to fit into this era. You are here to correct it. Chosen one, the book didn't identify you because you're extraordinary. It identified you because you're ancient. And now, as the final seal settles over your identity, one truth becomes undeniable. You are not new to this world. The world is finally catching up to you. Welcome back to your timeline.